and Management Studies, Mapsa, Goa. I request our principal, Professor Santosh Patkar, to escort the dignitaries to the list. The topic for our seminar today is Union Budget 2025-26. This is a subject of immense significance as it plays a crucial role in shaping the economic and financial landscape of our country. Today's discussion will help us gain valuable insights into the budget's impact on various sectors and the economy as a whole. Now, I would like to invite our respected principal, Professor Santosh Patkar, to deliver the welcome address and officially commence today's seminar.
Guest speaker of today's seminar, Professor Suresh Anbogi, Professor Sharmila Borkar, the HOD of the Economics Department, faculty members, and dear students. Budget, everyone is interested to listen how the budget is presented and what will be the impact of the budget on the different stakeholders. Business class may be interested to know how much excess duties, custom duties, other duties has been imposed, and what will be the impact on the cost of production, and whether they will help for the increase in the profit or decrease in the profit of their product, whether import duties have been slashed or import duties have been enhanced, whether there is a scope for export or export, all those things maybe business class people normally are interested in. Agriculturists, farmers, then they are interested in knowing that whether the prices in the fertilizers have been increased, agriculture produce and all those, price of the agriculture produce. Each one is interested in knowing. Salaried class people normally interested in knowing that the income tax slab, how much the income tax has to be paid. And very important is that the common man, whether the impact, whether after the presentation of the budget, whether the commodities price in the market, whether they will be increased or reduced. I remember when I was in the BCom, I was listening this budget discussion right from the BCom, and I was in 87 onwards. At that time in the parliament, the budget was presented in the evening session. Later on they shifted to the morning, and it was every year it was on 20th February was the budget. So when I was watching on the budget session or next day reading on the newspapers regarding, my mother used to ask me, I remember regarding, she was not gone to the school, nothing regarding, she didn't know anything about the budget, etc. So I am listening to her, I said, she also was asking me, I said, this is regarding the budget, that is the price of the product. So immediately her question was that, price वाढलं वाटतं ते का कमी झालं, मर्यादा ती का कमी झाली, because common man is only aware of regarding the whether the prices, the budget or government decisions in the market, whether it will be increased or decreased, because they are concerned, because whatever the saving they have, whatever the income they have, whether they can make with the price of the product in the market, or they can. So this was normally. And then in the other way, only the infrastructure development, whether with that budget, whether the country can progress of having the infrastructure development. These are normally the questions or the queries of the different stakeholders in the society about the budget. Budget is nothing but is an estimated receipt and payment of the country. How much the revenue is generated by the country and how much expenditure. And always it is government aims to make more revenue. It is normally all any organization when preparing the budget, we definitely aim for earning the more revenue, and similarly the expense. Because if you have the more money, if you have more funds, you can spend the money. Now this budget, present budget, is what I feel regarding as a commerce student. It has focused on 4 engines of the growth. The first engine of the growth is agriculture sector, and increase of the agriculture produce, reducing the imports, export, all those increasing the export, because if we have the more import, definitely you have to pay more. So first, the engine of that growth is the agriculture sector, which the finance ministry has focused on it, and provision made for it. The second engine is the growth engine is small and medium and micro industries, which normally provides a large employment. Small scale industries provide more employment than the larger industries, and so because of that, always normally the state governments or are interested in providing encouraging the small, medium and micro industries for generating the employment, because one of the moral responsibility of the government is to provide employment. So that is one we find it always. Third engine of this budget, which is focused by the finance minister, is the human resource development. The human research is very important. So with the help of the artificial intelligence, provision has been made in this budget for the artificial intelligence and investment in the human resource that will help the country. And the last, that is the fourth engine of this budget, the focus was the increase in the export. Because the country, after independence, India was importing and more, and now you find it, India you find it in the exporting. So the greater the export is good for the country to get the foreign exchange, and that definitely has the financial economic position of the country. One of the significant aspect of this budget, sir, which we definitely will be going in detail, just as a commerce student, what I thought of it, is one of the major, that is a significant feature of this budget is for the salaried class people is the income exemption up to 12 lakhs. So every year the people, all of us salaried people were demanding, expecting the more and more amount, because finally we think that why to pay the income tax to the government unnecessarily, like the government with deduct the salary, deduct the income tax directly from the salary. Whereas always we see that regarding the business class people, other people, they have got scope to avoid the income tax, but we have no options, salaried class people. So we are only the hope for even getting the larger exemptions for the increase the slabs. So this year it is this budget definitely, but that with that revenue of the government will be reduced. Around 1 lakh crore rupees will be definitely the revenue will be lost for the government, and that 1 lakh crore rupees the government has to reach to others. Because of that, you will find in this budget you will find not much the capital expenditure has been focused, because when you think of the capital expenditure larger, then definitely you need to have the revenue. Even though the capital expenditure will provide the employment, that is also one of the aspects kept by the government while preparing the budget to increase the capital expenditure or the infrastructure development, because it provides the employment. So that will not. But some the other sectors like the education sector, they will push for the artificial intelligence with the 500 crores has been allocated for the artificial intelligence infrastructure expansion of the 5 new IITs. Around 10,000 extra seats for the medical seats will be provision has been made. Compared to the 2024-25, the budget 1.14 crores, 1,14 crores was in the education sector, but now this has been increased by 1 crore 20 lakh crore rupees. Welfare for women and children also there is an increase in the health sector, agriculture, everywhere we find there is a meeting, but not much else this is required to give push. But still then, what I feel is that this budget, even though there is less expenditure on trust has been kept on capital expenditure, but still then the growth oriented budget we can say. So tourism and the fisheries sectors have been also there is boost has been given and they made benefits for the when we Goa will be also getting the benefit. COP50 tourist destination will be developed in partnership with the state. So around 1,900 crores have been allocated for the tourism infrastructure development. So all this there is a enhancement. So overall the budget you can say is a transformative for the middle class people by increasing the tax slab. It is push for the agricultural sector, investment in human resource development through AI, and enhancement of the export. This is what I think as a former students after reading through the budget and listening to the budget and talks of on the TV and all. So I welcome you all for this budget discussions. I was just talking to the resource person that this budget discussion was started by the Principal Deshpande, DM Deshpande, and we continue till today regarding having the immediately after the budget presentation, the discussions on the panel discussion or seminar workshop on the budget discussion, so that farmers and economic students will get benefit. It is very important. This time also we are displaying the live telecast of the budget in the classroom from the TY, because at least TY students should know what is budget, how it is prepared, how it is presented, and what are the aspects of the budget. Because certain things which commerce and economic students should know, and I think it is the budget is one of the topic which every commerce and economic student should know and should learn about the budget. So once again, I welcome today's resource person, Dr. Suresh Anboge. He is the expert in this economics, and I welcome you all for this presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words and warm welcome. At this point, I would like to invite Assistant Professor Ms. Monali Sinari to introduce the esteemed guest speaker for today's seminar.
Good morning, everyone. It is a privilege to introduce today's keynote speaker, a distinguished expert in public finance, governance, and economic policy, Dr. Suresh Anboge. With an academic background that includes MSc, MBA, and PhD, Dr. Shanbag's career spans 37 years of service in both the Government of India and Government of Goa, where he has made significant contribution to finance, budget planning, infrastructure development, and policy implementation. His tenure as Joint Secretary of Finance Budget saw him oversee state budget preparation, treasury management, and fiscal planning, making him an authority on how fiscal policies shape economic growth and governance. Beyond his extensive government service, Dr. Shanbag has played a key role in shaping Goa's infrastructure and economic landscape. As the first director of civil aviation, he led the development of Goa's Greenfield International Airport at Mopa, navigating its entire life cycle from land acquisition to commissioning. Additionally, his tenure as Director of Mines and Geology was instrumental in reviving Goa's mining sector through the successful auctioning of iron ore mineral blocks. Currently, Dr. Shanbag serves as a certified independent director under the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and holds board positions in multiple private companies. His extensive expertise in public-private partnerships, taxation policies, and financial governance allows him to provide critical insights into how fiscal policies impact both government institutions and private enterprises. A prolific researcher and author, Dr. Shanbag has published several books and articles on public finance and economic development. His research on fiscal sustainability, industrial development, and interstate fiscal indicators has been widely recognized. As a resource person at Goa University and other academic institutions, he remains committed to mentoring future policymakers and scholars. Dr. Shanbag's exceptional contributions have earned him several accolades, including the 75th Republic Day Award from the Governor of Goa and the Scotch Award for Governance Good in 2022 for his leadership in infrastructure development. These awards underscore his commitment to public service and governance excellence. As we delve into the complexities of the Union Budget today, we could not have asked for a more accomplished expert to guide us. Dr. Shanbag's profound understanding of fiscal policies, taxation reforms, and economic strategy will provide us with invaluable insights. With great honor, please join me in welcoming today's resource person, Dr. Suresh Shanbhag.
Thank you, ma'am, for that loving introduction. Before we proceed, I would like to request Professor Sharmila Bodkar, HOD of Department of Economics, to present a token of our appreciation, a potted plant to our guest, Dr. Suresh Shanbhag, as a symbol of our gratitude and respect. Thank you, ma'am. We would also like to give a formal welcome to the guests and other dignitaries on the day and of the day.
Dr. Amita, please state the names.
So now we present a floral welcome to Dr. Amita Shanbhag. This was the flower. It is now my pleasure to invite our esteemed guest, Dr. Suresh Shanbhag, to lead us into the discussion on Union Budget 2025-26. Also, I request all the teachers on the stage to take their places in the audience.
At the outset, I thank our person, principal of college, and HOD of the Economics Department, Madam, for inviting me to this college. Deliver lecture on budget 25-26. This budget is an area which is most close to my heart because I was joint secretary budget about 5 or 6 years in government. As early as 2004-2009, I prepared 6 budgets for the state, and also written a book, got a PhD in public finance. So therefore, this subject is very close to me. Somehow it is not ready to be close to me. Right? The budget presented by Madam Sitaraman, Nirmala Sitaraman on the 1st February is a historic. When I say historic in the sense that very few budgets in the country are remembered for a long period of time. One such budget was presented by the then Finance Minister, later who became Prime Minister of India, is Dr. Manmohan Singh, in the year 1991. That led to liberalization and globalization. That has become historic in the records, basically. A budget thereafter if at all it will go in the history, it will remember for a very long period of time, is this budget. Here, basically another kind of liberalization has taken place. A lot of salaried class are liberalized from payment of tax. That liberalization extent is so much that yesterday or the first day in February there was a smile on everybody's face. What is the meaning of this liberalization? Earlier, those slabs used to be tinkered by 1 lakh, 2 lakh, a small tinkering used to happen. This time it was unexpected change has been done. It was not expected even by the people sitting on the TV panel who used to discuss the budget prior to the budget presentation. It was a shock, surprise to everyone. More than 1 lakh crore direct tax or income tax stands released to the economy, which otherwise government was collecting from the salaried class or otherwise other individuals who pay income tax. That money now stands available in the economy. What is the impact of this? What do we mean by this? Before starting my presentation, I thought let me take the major takeaway from the budget. The meaning of this 1 lakh crore, what will happen? Each and every one who were paying individual tax earlier up to 12 lakh, what is the meaning of this 12 lakh? I'll explain to you later with an example. Up to 12 lakh are not supposed to pay any income tax, zero tax. Last year, the number of returns filed is 8 crore around in the income tax by the individuals. The understanding is that with this limit of 12 lakh that is set now, 6.5 crore people who filed income tax last year are below 12 lakh. Imagine, out of 8 crore returns filed to the people, 6.5 crore are out of the income tax net, straight away. Now this 1 lakh crore or more than that is now available for the economy. What will happen? Liquidity. Consumption goes up. Right? What people will do? If you have money, what you will do? You will try to consume it. Moment consumption goes up in the economy, what will happen? More demand will happen. GST collection will go up. Other taxes collection will go up. The second thing that can happen is savings. Right? People, instead of consumption, they will keep it in fixed deposit here and there. What will happen? Assume that people have started keeping in the fixed deposit. What will happen to that money? It will go to the bank. Bank will use that money for giving credit. So at the end of the day, banks don't keep in the shelves. More the deposit, then it goes to the credit. More liquidity available to go to the credit. The third thing that happens, consumption, saving. Third thing that happens is investment. Somebody will start investing in land, may take a house because they can now afford some kind of installments. So therefore, all these three things can happen. At the end of the day, the benefit goes to the economy of the state or economy of the country. Therefore, though it looks like there is a loss of a lakh of crore, it is going to have multiplier effect in the economy, creating more, generate more income in the indirect taxes and other ways. So therefore, it is in this context that this particular budget is a historic budget. With this opening remarks, let me start with my presentation. But before going for presentation, considering that this house has a majority of students basically, what I am going to speak in the presentation, certain terminologies to make you aware. I think all of you may have been taught in the classes. Terminologies of public finance. I'll take few minutes, teachers bear with me, few minutes to introduce you to those very, very basic points so that you will be able to appreciate my subsequent lecture or the terminology which I am going to use. So, the first question, the questions that I ask are only to students, not for teachers, right? So, what is budget? I have limited time. I'll ask immediately someone raises hand, gives answer, fine. I will not press for the answer. You are a student? Oh. What's your name? Neha. Okay. See. Now, let us take Neha's parents' income. I'll make you understand what is budget, right? Yeah. A budget, what is budget? I have broken this into 4 components. Budget is a financial plan. You see the underlined words. It's very easy to understand. Underlined words. The first part is a financial plan. For what? Why we are making plan? For making decisions, right? It is a plan for making decision. Based on what? Based on income and expenditure. For which period? For 1 year, right? So budget is so simple. The definition is that it's a financial plan for the purpose of making decision based on income and expenditure or revenue and receipt in other words. For a particular period, generally it is for 1 year, it is a fiscal year. Fiscal year is fiscal year. Financial year is, what is the financial year?
1st April to 31st.
1st April to 31st March. I am trying to make you awake, nothing else, so that you should not sleep. Right? Now, Neha, right? Let us take her case. Assume that her father's income is 1 lakh per month. Annual income is 12 lakh per month. I am not adding her mother's income. You know, it's an individual income tax. It is not a family tax. Assume father will file a separate income tax return, mother will file a separate income tax return. It is not that entire family income is clubbed and an income tax is return is filed. I am thinking only of father's income. Now, her annual income is 12 lakh. So, income I take it as 12 lakh. Right? Now, I need to have a financial plan. I have an income, plan to spend. Right? What are the various expenditures she cannot avoid or her father cannot avoid? He has to survive, he has to commit an expenditure. What is that? First, grocery, food, all food, you take all food, right? Electricity bill, water bill, school fees, you name. Expenditure that is required for survival of the family, but which doesn't get resulted into creation of an asset. You have spent, money is gone. But that expenditure is required for your survival. Right? How much plan he can make, expenditure plan at best? 12 lakh to 12 lakh, right? 12 lakh expenditure. If he makes more expenditure plan, what happens? So what he will do for that? Suppose his expenditure is 14 lakh, his father's income is 12 lakh. From where that 2 lakh will come? What her father will do? What? Borrow, yes, she is right. borrow, right? So the expenditure that is considered, that is where it is called current expenditure, or expenditure which doesn't get resulted into asset, which is required for running the family, is known as a revenue expenditure. Remember, this is called, I am going to speak these words later in the context of the budget. So I am trying to make you understand revenue expenditure is the expenditure that is required to run the family. What is income is revenue receipt. If expenditure is more than receipt, what is the meaning of it? Is it deficit or surplus? Yes. If the expenditure is more than receipt, it is deficit. If receipt is more than expenditure, it is surplus. Therefore, revenue surplus or revenue deficit, which I am going to talk, that if revenue receipt is more than revenue expenditure, it is revenue surplus. If revenue receipt is less than revenue expenditure, it is deficit. Now, her father decided to construct a house. Right? 12 lakh is not sufficient. With that money, cannot construct a house. What he will do? How he will borrow? Go to banks. Right? He will take loan. Any loan taken for what he will do with that loan? It is for the purpose of constructing a house. He is going to create an asset. So therefore, that loan taken is known as a capital receipt. House constructed using that loan is called capital expenditure. You understand? Right? So therefore, the asset created is capital. Loan taken for the purpose of constructing the house is receipt capital. Constructed house is an asset. The money spent is a capital expenditure. Assuming that out of 12 lakh income, he has spent 10 lakh and he kept on saving 2 lakh, he has got some money. So he may use that expenditure also towards construction of house. That again, saving or surplus of revenue will also be considered as capital. So I have introduced you what is a budget, what is revenue receipt, what is revenue expenditure, capital receipt, capital expenditure. I think this basic structure, let's move ahead. I will introduce you more concepts while talking. Now let us start with the budget. The destination of the budget is Viksit Bharat. Viksit Bharat is developed India. By the year India envisages that by the year 2047, India is interested or Bharat wants to become Vikasit. Vikasit is a developed country basically. The efforts in the budget are to reach this destination. How? First one, accelerating growth. Today, India is the fastest growing economy in the world. Fastest growing economy, including the largest economy, whether USA, you can take USA, Japan, China, you name them, we are the fastest growing. We are growing at around 6.5% per annum. We have an aim of achieving $5 trillion economy in the short term, maybe next 5 years. I am talking about the path for destination. In the process of 5 trillion economy, we are already the 5th largest economy in the world. How many of you are aware? Which are the remaining 4? Number 1, USA, you're right. Number 2, China, perfect. Number 3, Japan, right. Number 4, fantastic. I think brilliant students, right? We are the 5th largest economy, and we in the very short run we are likely to overtake 2. We are likely to become the 3rd largest economy. We are going to overtake Japan. We are going to overtake Germany. So we are on the right track as of now. Now the second one is secure inclusive development. That means ours is a vast country, 140 crore population, diverse country, rich, poor, all kind of various religions, caste, all kinds of people are there. Different types of states are there. The inclusivity, that means including each and every section of the society in the process of development, is an aim of achieving Vikasit Bharat. Third one is invigorate private sector investment. Strong private sector investment is required. Government investment is not sufficient. What government spends with its money is not sufficient to reach Vikasit Bharat. I'll give an example to you. You must have seen last 10 years 4-lane roads, 6-lane roads built across the country, including Goa, right? Road network has been transferred. The distance between the two mega cities has come down. Distance between Delhi to Mumbai has come down. If you have read few days before a newspaper article where distance between Mumbai and Goa by June is going to be only 6 hours journey. World-class roads have been constructed. Dear students, it is not done by the government money. It is done on a public-private partnership basis, where money has been put by the private sector. A kind of an annuity mode is put. Annuity mode in the sense that they will spend money and over a period of time, 10 years or 20 years period of time, they will collect a toll and they will recover the money and they will maintain. Government has not spent a single paisa, rather government has earned revenue from that particular project, which can be used. I am giving one example of road, like that every sector, whether it is manufacturing sector, any other sector, where the government intent is strong private sector interest. Now the next one is uplift household sentiment. Basically, I'll take few minutes only on this, then later on I'll go faster, otherwise the time will take time. It is better to understand the concept of the budget, then we will take it a little faster. Household sentiments. At the end of the day, each household would like to live happily, right? Comfortably, with various facilities, basic needs that are required. They need a house, water connection, sanitation, various other things that are required, needs of the house. So that sentiments of the household need to be uplifted so that they should feel comfortable, happy in their living. So that is the focus of this budget. The last one is enhance spending power of the India's middle class that I have already touched. That is basically 1 lakh crore that is released. Has increased the spending power. Now let us go ahead. What is the outcome that government is looking at from this Viksit Bharat agenda? First one is zero poverty. As per Niti Aayog, the latest estimate based on 2022-23 consumer expenditure survey, the poverty in India is less than 5%. So therefore, government is now aiming to achieve zero poverty for the purpose of Vikasit Bharat. 100% good quality school education. It is not earlier, it's only providing school education. Giving literacy, that used to be the goal. Making literate, increasing literacy. Now it is quality education. Trained teachers, good facilities. The focus will be good curriculum. The focus will be on quality education. Access to high quality, affordable and comprehensive health care. You have PHC, there are no doctors. You have PHC, there are equipments, X-ray machine is there, there is no X-ray or technician. You know, those are the present situation is like that. At least Goa is far, far ahead. You have to go and see the district hospitals in other states is quite, you know, not high quality or better standard. It is in this context that Viksit Bharat wants to make a high quality and affordable healthcare facilities. It need not be done in the government sector, it can be done in the private sector. Also, we have Ayushman Bharat scheme, 5 lakh insurance is available. Anybody can walk into those who are having that card, walk into the private hospital and take a treatment. So those are all indicators towards Viksit Bharat, giving affordable, comprehensive healthcare. 100% skilled labor with meaningful employment. Skill India, skilling, reskilling, upskilling is a today's mantra of Government of India. Skilled worker is able to do a better job. He will get employment opportunities. Today, if we are importing everything from China, even that lighting, small things comes from China. Are we not able to produce that? Why it's coming from China? Small things, China mall. Right? So because they have lots of skilled workers to do. Such industries have come up. The population is skilled. They are able to come out with such products which are available for common man. So idea is to develop skilled workforce in the country. 70% women in economic activities. The latest survey of Labour Bureau says the women participation rate is currently around 40%. That means women also working, earning basically. The focus of the budget is to increase this to 70%. The last one is Annadata, farmers. Farmers making our country food basket of the world. So your idea is to make a surplus in our food availability. We should be able to export our food products to other countries. So let's take to the next one. This journey has 4 engines as per the budget, which Principal Sir has spoken on that. First engine is agriculture. MSMEs, medium, small, micro enterprises. Third one is investment. The fourth one is exports. This engine requires fuel. Right? How the engine runs? What is the fuel? Fuel is reforms. What is the meaning of reforms? Simplify the procedure, make it user friendly, ease of doing business, reduce the cost. People should feel happy to take those schemes or other things. So the fuel is the reforms. The guiding spirit is including that whatever we do, it should be available. It should not exclude any part of the society. It's inclusivity. So everyone should be taken along in the journey of development. And the destination I mentioned is Viksit Bharat. So there are 4 engines. Engine will run with fuel called reforms. It will take everybody. A bus will not stop. I will not stop for him. I will not stop him. He will bus. He will show the hand. It will stop everybody. Train will take everybody. It doesn't exclude anybody. So the development process should not or doesn't exclude it. And the destination is Viksit Bharat. Focus is Gyan. This is a word coined by the Prime Minister. Narendra Modi. What is Gyan? G for Garib, poor, take care of poor. Y for youth, take care of younger generation. We have a very high demographic dividend. Younger population is very high in the country. A is Annadata. Annadata, who is Annadata? Farmer. Take care of farmer. Last one, N is Nari, women. So, the whole focus is on Gyan. Now, in this process, there are 10 broad developmental measures have been identified by the budget. Then, broad areas are agriculture. I have spoken a lot, therefore I am not going to explain much on this. Agriculture growth and productivity, increase agriculture production. Building rural prosperity, basically rural development and resilience. Taking everyone together, inclusivity. This is basically same words written in different English. Right? Taking everyone together is inclusivity. Boosting manufacturing and furthering Make in India. Make in India is, what happens with Make in India? I'll explain it, point number 9 now. Okay. That means manufacture more and more. Don't depend on the other countries' production. Don't import. Try to create your requirement within the country. That is Make in India. Supporting medium, small, micro enterprises. How it is done, I will explain later. Enabling employment-led development. At the end of the day, development process should generate employment. Right? The whole idea is to create employment opportunities. Investing in people, economy, innovation. Securing energy surplus. Energy surplus is we should get 24-hour electricity, right? So you should have surplus in the country. Promoting export. Now, this is what I was mentioning about China. Are we today in trade deficit or in trade surplus? Are we
Deficit.
trade deficit?
Trade deficit.
Trade deficit. Reason is that we are importing more than what we are exporting. Huge trade deficit. How we can change this balance of trade balance? By producing within the country. That is where Government of India is promoting Make in India. You create here. Even we started now exporting mobiles. We started producing mobiles, manufacturing mobiles, exporting mobiles. Government of India is emphasizing that whatever you are trying to import from other country, try to produce within the country, so that your trade balance the deficit will come down. If you have heard Nitin Gadkari used highways recently, what he mentioned, if it happens, I think that's going to change the entire scenario of the country. That is crude oil import. 87% of the fuel what you are using, whether it is petrol, diesel, or aviation turbine fuel, or the CNG, you name it, whatever. The crude oil is used in the country is imported. 8 lakh to 10 lakh crore bill is there. That is the major component of the trade balance, one of the major components. Right? He has an ambitious plan. We are already converting into EV buses. You have seen in Panaji, you can see often buses moving, EV cars moving, and 500 buses are being purchased by ATC. Slowly, these EV vehicles will start taking care of the petrol consumption will come down. Hydrogen fuel. He must have mentioned 3-4 fuels where in the next 5 years or 10 years, dependency of the country on crude oil will get substantially reduced. So crude oil import comes down, then the trade deficit will come down to that extent. By that time, our Make in India program also will go up. So the whole idea is promoting export, reducing import. So have a positive trade balance. The day the country will have trade surplus, you are going to Viksit Bharat automatically. Right? That one parameter is sufficient to reach, provided other programs are also implemented efficiently. And innovation. Everyday technology is changing. Right? Everyday things are changing. Therefore, the country has to keep on innovating new things. So innovation starts from young minds. Therefore, incubation centers, various other facilities are given to the students, younger generation, to innovate and come out with new ideas. Reforms as fuel, I said. In the journey, reforms as fuel. The budget identified 6 areas of reforms. One is taxation, that is a reform. One of the reform is income tax reduced. In a week's time or 10 days' time, new income tax bill will be, income tax law will be introduced, old law will go. Power sector, energy self-sufficiency, urban development, mining, we will come to know what reforms they suggested in the budget later. Financial sector and regulatory reforms. What are all done? These are the 6 areas where domains where reforms have been suggested in the budget. Now, let us try to understand at the macro level what is the benefit from this budget, what is going to be costlier, what is going to be cheaper. Right? Let me, before going into detail, let me give you this broader thought. See, costlier. TV is going to be costlier because imported flat LED TV is costlier. Imported knitted fabrics will be costlier. These are the only 2 costlier items. Now these are all cheaper items. Cancer drugs going to be cheaper. Critical minerals going to be cheaper. I will show you what are the minerals later. Mobile phone chargers going to be cheaper. Telecom equipment going to be cheaper. Fish starter food, shrimp food, frozen fish paste going to be cheaper. Wet food weather going to be cheaper. Technical textile, when I say technical textile is not what we are wearing. Technical textile is used in industry. Technical textile going to be cheaper. And EV batteries, probably EV cars and vehicles are going to be cheaper. Right? So, what is, there are only among the all major items, 2 will be costly. Now, let us start understanding the budget. This is at a glance. I am slowly starting from the macro level, going to the micro level. I have started with macro level provisions, aims and other things. Now, let us understand this. I want students to understand this correctly. Right? Revenue receipt, you are aware. I will explain what is revenue receipt. Income of the government. Income of the government. Revenue receipt 27.29 lakh crore. 27.29 lakh crore. Anyone can write this number here? I will send a chocolate tomorrow. Can you write that number? 27.29 lakh crore. You write an absolute number. Who will write? Only students, huh? I don't want to embarrass you. Come, students. Yes. Come. Even if it is wrong, no problem. At least you have attempted to run. Let's go to it. is currently on the right track. Big clap. See, 27 lakh, 29,000, right? 27 lakh, 29,000, 27.2 crore, 7 zeros. 27.29 lakh, good. So, this is the money. Receipt was 27.29 lakh crore, which has gone up to 30.88 lakh crore. Now the budget shows 34.20 lakh crore, increased by around 11%, in spite of the fact that 1 lakh crore is released to the income tax. Still, government is expecting some 11% increase. Increase is more or less percent. In terms of percentage, if you look at this and this is slightly more. Actual expenditure, the actual receipt in 23-24, current year is revised estimate 30.88 lakh crore, increased to 34.20 lakh. Now let us try to see the revenue expenditure. 34.94 lakh crore. So therefore, what is the meaning of this? I have explained to you already. Revenue deficit or revenue surplus? I have kept my hand so they should not read. Very simple. Revenue receipt is less than revenue expenditure. Deficit or surplus? Deficit. See, revenue deficit. That means revenue expenditure is more than revenue surplus. Right? Revenue deficit, you minus this and this, you will get 7.65 crores. Right? The interesting part is that this deficit is coming down. That's a good part. The reason behind is that, see, 34.94 crore, the expenditure has gone up very little, 2 lakh something crores, and it has gone up as 3 lakh crores. So, receipt has gone up, expenditure has slightly come down. The gap between the revenue receipt and revenue expenditure is slightly coming down. The parameter is showing a good sign. We are slowly bringing down the revenue deficit. Okay, what is the meaning of it? I explained to you that if there is a deficit, what you will do? From where that money comes? Assume that Neha's father had taken a loan. Nobody has not given loan to someone else. The father had taken bank loan for construction of house. No other money, there were 2 lakhs. What she will do? Money that is taken for construction of house, she will use it for her daily expenditure. House will remain unconstructed. You are diverting the capital money into the capital receipt into the revenue expenditure. Now look at the capital receipt. You are 17.14 crore, lakh crore is your capital receipt. Mostly borrowing. Except a small amount of loan, the recovery of loan also taken as you are given to the states and other people, you are given the loan, it come get recovered, it is considered as a revenue, capital receipt. Otherwise, the maximum part of it is a borrowing. 17.14 crore, whereas capital expenditure is 9.49 crore, where that balance money. You have a capital receipt of 17.14 crore, but your expenditure is 9.49 crore. The meaning is that the balance capital receipt is used for revenue deficit. If you add this and this, deficit and this, you get this figure. 7.65. lakh crore plus 9.49 lakh crore will add up to capital receipt of 17.14 lakh crore. There is a small gap, I will explain it a little later. There is a correction here. Little bit correction here by the Niti Aayog. I will explain in the next slide. But it's a fact that the revenue expenditure, there is a deficit, is met from the capital receipt. Now look at this. Capital receipt is going down. It's again a good sign. You are taking less borrowing. Capital receipt is going down. Capital expenditure is going up. Capital receipt is going down. Capital expenditure is going up. Capital receipt is going down means you are borrowing slightly, you are trying to reduce. I tell you, capital borrowing you need not even reduce. Even if you are keeping it stagnant, also it's a very good achievement. Right? Here, capital receipt is slightly going down. Capital expenditure is going up in spite of the fact that 1 lakh crore is released. So this is possible basically because 7.65 lakh, the revenue deficit has come down to 5.24. So that way, this budget is financially sound, stable, and growth oriented. That is what I can say. Understood this table? You understood? Is it fine? Yes. Let's go ahead. Let us try to understand the indicators. I will start with the what you know. First, revenue deficit. Here, always these indicators are presented not in that format of lakh, as a percentage of GDP, gross domestic national. Right? So, measure is always in terms of GDP. GDP revenue deficit, it was 22-23, 4% of GDP, come down to 2.6, 1.9. Now what is expected is 1.5. So in terms of ratio to GDP, revenue deficit has also come down from 4% to 1.5%. Now, before coming to fiscal deficit, I'll come down to there is a new terminology point in India in the year 2012. I'm not sure whether it has already come into the in the public finance books, latest books, it may be there. Effective revenue deficit. What is the meaning of a revenue deficit and what is the meaning of an effective revenue deficit? I'll come back to the previous slide. There is a revenue deficit, there is an effective revenue deficit. This revenue expenditure includes grants given to the states by the government of India for capital expenditure. Though it looks like revenue expenditure to the state, to the central government, it is actually used for capital expenditure by the state. Therefore, for the terminology point of view, for the central government, it looks like it's revenue expenditure, whereas that money is actually used for capital expenditure by the state government. Therefore, to have this correction, government of Niti Aayog introduced a new measure known as effective revenue deficit. If you look at the effective revenue deficit, 4% comes down to 2.8% of GDP, 1.5 comes down to 0.3. Therefore, that revenue deficit what we have seen also to be seen in that perspective. For government of India, it becomes revenue expenditure because it is giving grant aid to the state governments. Whereas that money that is given, it is going for creation of assets. Anything that is given for creation of asset is a capital expenditure. Therefore, the new terminology that is called is the effective revenue deficit. Now, fiscal deficit, the most simplest term which is to be understood is fiscal deficit. Now, let me start with the fiscal deficit understanding with Neha's father's case. Okay. Now, her father had taken a 30 lakh loan, assume 30. Loan 30 lakh is taken already. So stock, debt stock, what we call it as a debt stock is 30 lakh. Stock is 30 lakh. Now this year, now the father is also doing a repayment. Okay, when I say repayment, not the interest part, it's the principal part. The interest is separately taken. Right? He repays 5 lakh this year. Debt stock reduces to how much? 25. Whereas a construction of a father's house is still going on. So he has taken 10 lakh loan plus. 10 lakh plus loan, what happened? Total loan, debt stock 35. Right? 30 lakh becomes 35. In fact, a 30 lakh plus 10 lakh, 40 lakh it becomes. He has repaid 5 lakhs back. So net addition to the loan, what is the net addition to the loan? It's 5. Right? So the net addition to the debt stock, this and this, difference is 5 lakh. So that is called fiscal deficit. Net addition to the debt stock is fiscal deficit. If suppose Goa government has a 30,000 crore loan, 30,000 crore loan. Government takes say 10,000 crore loan this year and returns 5,000 crore as a refund. So net addition to the debt stock is 5,000 crore. So fiscal deficit is net borrowing. The simple word, alternative word for fiscal deficit is net borrowing. Gross borrowing is 10 lakh, whereas 5 lakh is repaid. So net borrowing is 5 lakh. So net borrowing is fiscal deficit. Now, is it readable? Can you read this from there? Okay. How rupee comes in, how rupee goes. I'll explain each of that. Rupee comes in is income, from where the money comes. Maximum money comes from borrowing. 24% of the money comes from borrowing. Second one is income tax. Money come from income tax comes 22%. The third one is 18% GST, what all we pay on 9% of when I say GST, it's not state government GST, central government GST, CGST, GST and other taxes, union excise duty 5%, corporation tax 17%. So many are small, customs duty 4%. Remaining are very small. So major component of money that comes in is about 24%, followed by income tax, followed by corporation tax, GST, union excise. Where the money goes in terms of rupee, where is spent? Look at this. Indirect payment. Interest payment, sorry. Interest paid on loan. See this huge money. That means that you have a huge amount of debt stock that's there, on which you have to pay interest. It is known as a charge expenditure of the government. Charge expenditure means you cannot avoid. You have to pay. Payment of loan, repayment of loan, and interest payment is known as a charge expenditure on the budget. No discussion can need to take place on that. You have to pay. You have no choice. Because salary you can stop, but you cannot stop. Then you have pension, you have other expenditure, centrally sponsored schemes, you have central sector schemes, you have defense around 8%. So these are all from where the money goes. Main money goes is towards interest. So let's try to see the major items. In terms of major items of expenditure, when I break this down, it is not that they are the only thing. Only major 12 items have been picked up. There are many more items. Defense is the main thing. 4,91,732 crore is used in the defense. That's the highest expenditure. Followed by rural development. When I say major item, it doesn't include the interest side. That is why I introduced the word of charged expenditure. Government has a right to reduce this, increase this, whereas government cannot stop interest payment, repayment of loan and all. Therefore, major type of expenditure is identified separately listed. Right? Difference is followed by difference is rural development. Then home department. Why home department has so much amount? Can you guess? 2,33,211 crore money is with home department. In the state level, home department, which is the major part of the state level. Police come under home department at the state government level. There is no police in the central government. In place of police, who is there? Who are not in defense. BSF, Border Security Force, CISF, paramilitary forces. They are not called defense. Defense is Navy, Army and Air Force. They are only called defense services. All other paramilitary forces, they come under home defense. Therefore, actually, for the security of the country, it is 4 lakhs plus 2 lakhs. Money that is being spent. Those CISF personnel who are posted at the airport, because such an airport is manned inside the security. It is fully by security. Under the law, it cannot be given even to police. It has to be with CISF. So they are all from Ministry of Home Affairs. Then agriculture there are activity 1,71,000 crore, education 1,28,000 crore, health 98,000 crore, if this we remain okay. Now the most awaited health. Right? This is interesting. This is the new proposed slab. This is the current slab. For the time being, to forget that 12 lakh number, I will come to in the next slide. What is the meaning of 12 lakh in terms of this? Now there is a slab for payment of income tax. Now let us see this. Currently, up to 3 lakh is 0%. Up to 3 lakh. Whereas 3 lakh has gone up to 4 lakh. It has gone up 0% slab has gone up by 1 lakh. Now 5% slab, maximum 7 lakh. It has gone up to increase by 1 lakh. That's all. Now 10 lakh slab, it is 10% slab. It is 10 lakh. 10 lakh has gone up to 12 lakh. Now 15% slab, 12 lakh, gone up to 16 lakh. See, initially it was only small increase of 1 lakh, 1 lakh, now it is slowly going up. It has increased to 4 lakh. Look at this, 4 lakh. 15% slab has gone up from 12 lakh to 16 lakh. Thereafter there is a huge jump. 20% slab. It was only up to 15 lakh. 20% has gone up to 20 lakh, 5 lakh. Earlier income up to 15 lakh used to charge 20% slab. Now it is 20 lakh. Thereafter there are new slabs that are introduced. Earlier, immediately 20% there used to be 30% straight away. Anything above 15 lakh income, it is 30%. Now 2 more are increased. There is a gap of 15, it has gone up to 24 lakh, 9 lakh gap. Wherein 2 slabs are introduced. 20 has become 25. Up to 24 lakh it is 25. About 24 lakh it is 30. So the benefit has been divided among the slabs. As the slab goes up, the benefit increases. Right? So therefore now let's try to understand this in terms of benefit. Now if your income is 12 lakh, currently you are supposed to pay 71,500 rupees in tax as of current this year. In the new law, it will become 0. So your saving is 71,500. If the income is 13 lakh, currently tax you have to pay 88,400. Your tax now you have to pay 66,300. Therefore, benefit is 22,100. Now, this question is to the students. Again, see if it is 12 lakh, you have a higher saving. If it is 13 lakh, your saving goes down. Why? Answer is in the slides. See, if it is 12 lakh, you will get a saving of 71,000. If it is 13 lakh, your saving goes down to 22,100. Answer is in the slide. Next. No, see, for lower income you have a higher saving. For higher income you have a lower saving. I am asking you that. Answer is in the
All
slide.
slabs are you have to put.
Yes?
All slabs you have to put there. If you cross 12 lakhs.
Somewhere. So,
If you cross to more than 12 lakhs,
correct.
then all slabs are.
see now what he is saying is perfectly right. See, this is interesting. Answer is here. If your income is 12 lakh, then those slabs which are shown in the previous slide are not applicable. Straight away 0 tax. Moment your income goes up to 12 lakh, it's not 12 lakh, 12.75 lakh. Basically because you have a 75,000 standard deduction. So if it is 12.75 lakhs, you will get 0 tax. Moment you go beyond that, then the slabs become applicable. 0.4 only, 0 to 4 only you will get 0%. Above 4 lakh you have to pay tax. That is why the tax benefit goes down. Now everyone will try to what they will try to do. Everyone will try to see that, achieve this. They will try to see that the income is kept 12 lakh or below that. Salaried people can't do that. Right? You go to the doctor's place. You tell me that old woman sitting in the market on the roadside, they sit with that Paytm, right now. But doctors, they will ask cash. They will not keep Paytm. Educated people, they are all keeping that. Why? They want to hide their income. They want to come in that bracket. Some are avoiding that 30% bracket. Some try to avoid 20% bracket. Some want to come below 10%. The 0. Now everybody will now that 30% and not running. They all try to that 12 lakh. But there is a plus side of it. The plus side is that. The little bit plus side is that. You have to see the positive side also is that. The digital payment is likely to go up now. Now they know that up to 12 lakh it is allowed. So people will start going for digital. Right? So probably some doctors may start wanting digital after the cash. Okay, I'm just joking this. Right? So if you look at that, it is 15 lakh, 32,000. As the income goes up, the benefit goes up. Interesting part, why I am saying historic benefit in this table you have to see. In this table in 2005, just 20 years back, 0 tax for only 1 lakh. In 7 years it was doubled to 2 lakh. It took 7 years to double. In 2 years it was made just 2.5 lakh. Again 5 years it was doubled, 5 lakh. Again almost 5 years it was 7 lakhs. Now in just 2 years, it's just in 2 years, 7 lakh is now very much straight away. Normally we expect 8 lakh, 7 may become 8. But this was not expected. So therefore, this is what an historic thing has happened. 6.5 lakh crore people who are paying income tax now out of the income tax. Right? Any, go ahead, it's okay. Let us start the micro part of it. Now, the budget has identified 4 engines. Right? First engine is agriculture. First engine is agriculture. I have only identified only major part of the budget. I have not gone to the very smaller part of the budget. Very main schemes, very impactful schemes are only identified and put in this slide. The budget has announced a new scheme, Prime Minister Dhana Dhanya Krishi Yojana. This is to identify 100 districts where agricultural productivity is low. Probably Goa may also be affected because agricultural productivity in the side is also low. A lot of land is kept fallow, and people are not very productive. So probably Goa may get targeted. While targeting these 100 low productivity districts, focus is on improving crop yield, per acre yield or per hectare yield. That will happen by introducing high yielding variety seeds. So this comes under the Prime Minister Dhana Dhanya Krishi Yojana. The second one is all farmers in the country are given Kisan credit card. There is a credit limit to the Kisans. Currently it is 3 lakh. Kisans are eligible to take credit up to 5 lakh. So eligibility of loan to the farmers is gone up from 3 lakh to 5 lakh. Now Atmanirbharta in pulses. A Makana board is set up. You know what is Makana? What is it? Lotus seeds. Lotus seeds. Medicinal value. It has got medicinal value. I tell you, all of you should start reading to the college. So, Bihar is the major producer of Makana. Therefore, the major producer of Makana is a country is Bihar. Therefore, the government of India has decided to set up a separate board for Makana to support farmers in Bihar. Probably those people will get various benefits. Now, within the states, they will like how Bihar has Makana. The different states have different specific crops. So that will be identified. Focused approach towards specific crops and states. Last one is promoting pulses production at sustainable level. Now let us go to the second area. Medium, small, micro enterprises. Medium, small, micro enterprises is a classification. How the industry is defined as medium, micro or small. Currently, let us take the investment limit. If investment limit is 1 crore, presently it is known as micro. Investment limit is 5 crore, it is known as small. If the investment limit is, this I have written here in the bracket to understand you. Investment limit is 50 crore, it is known as medium. This investment limit goes up by 2.5 times. That means a small industry, small scale micro industry with investment limit of 1 crore, henceforth it will be increased from 2. What is the meaning of 1 crore becoming 2.5 times? How much it becomes? 1 crore becomes 2.5 times the 1 crore. How much it is? 2.5. Any other answer? Okay. 1 crore increased to 1 time is how much? 2 crore. 2 times means how much? 4. 1 crore increasing by 2 times means 3. 2.5 times means 3.5. Right? increasing by 2.5 times. One time means 1 crore becomes 2 crore. 2 times means 1 crore becomes 3 crore. And 2.5 times means 1 crore becomes 3.5 crore. So now onwards, an enterprise with 3.5 crore investment will be classified as micro investment. Right? Therefore, such units get benefit of micro investment. Similarly, 5 times 5 will become increased by 2.5 times. That means 17.5 into 2 and 5 into 5 and 5 into 12.5 plus 2.5. Correct now? 15, right? So, up to 15 crore, it will be known as small, and 5 into 50 into 2.5 plus 50. Not 15, 17.5 here. 5 plus 12.5, 17.5. Similarly, 50 plus 125, 50 plus 125, 175. So 175 crore investment will be classified as medium. Currently it is 50 crore is the limit. It will be 175. Similarly small, similarly micro. Now there is another limit there. Okay. Turnover limit. Turnover limit. Currently 5 crore turnover is classified as micro. 50 crore turnover is, I think there is something wrong here.
It is 10.
I think it is
10.
It is 10. I'm not very sure.
Small annual turnover is limit is 10.
There is something wrong. Okay.
10.
So the turnover also goes up by 2.5 times. So the classification for turnover limit goes up by 2 times, not 2.5, 2 times, whereas investment goes up by 2.5. This is a classification change to give what is that impetus to MSMEs. There is a startup. For the purpose of startups, additional 10,000 crore is kept. How many startups are there in the country? Yes. Startups that are registered on the portal as startup. More than 1 lakh startups are registered. And in that there are unicorns. What is a unicorn? Startups have been converted into unicorns. About 150 or 140 unicorns are set up, but startups are. What is a unicorn?
After their turnover process of
Yes, you are right. What is the turnover? You are right.
the amount are
Yeah, 100 crore.
100.
Yes. Any startup that has grown, that has made impact in the system, and it has crossed its, what you mentioned is right, 100 crore turnover. There are more than 140, 150, around 140, 150 startups have become unicorns, achieving more than 100 crore turnover. So government is attentively making India. See, employment generation. What is the purpose of startups? People should not hang on only for the government job, private sector job. Start your own business. You become an entrepreneur. You become a job creator, right? So, and make in India. You start producing the things within the country. Increase import, reduce export. There are various objectives we may start. Those who see that, you know, that program it is. Shark Tank. You get encouragement. You see that Shark Tank program. All those startup people come there to raise capital. You will get stories there. And you will also get inspired, motivation from that. All of you should see those Shark Tank programs. Right? So there is a fund that is for various benefits that are government of India gives to startups for that 10,000 crore. So micro enterprises, there is a credit card will be given, customized credit card. They need not go for the banks for asking for every time go to have a credit card up to a limit of 5 lakh rupees. There is a Make in India. For the purpose of Make in India, there is a manufacturing mission will be set up. At the end of the day, the focus of the country, focus of the government is Make in India. It has got wide range of benefits. It increases import, decreases export. Right? it improves trade balance, it generates employment, it's various opportunities, right? So therefore, a national manufacturing mission covering small, medium, large industries will be set up for making it. Now, scheme for first-time entrepreneurs. This is for women basically. A scheme for 5 lakh women and scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, first-time entrepreneurs. They will be provided loan up to 2 crore in the next 5 years. That means this comes under the inclusivity category. You want to include every aspect of society. So they are given benefit. The third engine is investment. Investment as third engine of development. Let us start with healthcare. New daycare cancer centers will be set up in district hospitals. You are all aware cancer is a major issue where the government trying to deal with that. So people have to run to various bigger hospitals to identify. So therefore, daycare centers will be set up in the district hospitals. Education. Under education, adult tinkering lab, laboratories will be set up. 50,000 adult tinkering labs will be set up. Medical education, in the last 10 years, number of medical colleges in the country has gone up, number of medical seats in the country has gone up. Now government has a plan to increase medical seats by 75,000 seats in 5 years. And in the current year, that is next year, 10,000 medical seats will be added. So more and more students will get admission, opportunity to get admission in various colleges. Saksham Anganwadi and Poshan, PM Poshan scheme. PM Poshan is midday meal scheme. The midday meal scheme that is given to schools, Anganwadis and all is known as PM Poshan. Midday meal. For that, whatever that item that is given in the school, there is a cost limit for it. So that now in the scheme they want to increase the cost norm, so that children will get a better nutrition. Otherwise, the cost is so low that whatever that is given is not sufficient. Now, support to workers. Introduction of social security, gig workers, temporary workers, those who now what is that, freelance workers. Now, a lot of online workers have started now. Right? I know that some students started this fabric chudidar and all sending from outside or taking their status. They are students, but they do this on online business. Right? They are all not covered under the social security. Lots of online workers now. With this technology that is coming, there's lots of online workers. If you want, somebody want to know, I was recently introduced to a network called QNet. Probably you know QNet. QNet is an e-commerce platform which is there in 170 countries, 800 products. I was offered a franchise of it. Anyone want to have it? I am not going to have it. I can give it to you or introduce many of them. It's very interesting. Where sitting at home, work for 2 hours a day and you will earn money. And annual income, the way they have shown, for me 2 sessions are given, 7 crore, 8 crore in a year. And you can earn easily something around 2-3 lakh. So if someone is interested, I will introduce you, can also do that. So like that, e-commerce platform has come. Where sitting at home, you become a part of it. You take a franchise of it. How that Cafe Coffee Day, Cafe Coffee Day, that who is Tata has a franchise, who is a franchise? Starbucks. Like that, QNet gives a franchise for 2 lakh rupees. And it's not free, 2 lakh. You buy, straightaway 2 lakh is paid, you are entitled to buy their products. Straightaway for 2 lakh rupees and you become lifelong franchisee of the QNet. There are various opportunities now and gig workers number is going up. Therefore, gig workers will be formally identified scheme to give them a social security net. Government of India identified that sector, give them PM Jana Arogya Yojana for healthcare benefits, enhancement of healthcare under the existing scheme. Now, another scheme that is announced is 22 lakh jobs creation through targeted schemes, particularly in the leather industry, textile industry. And there is a focused product scheme where again footwear and leather sector. That means that will be promoted. Focused target scheme will be done. Udan scheme, how many of you know Udan scheme? Udan is connecting smaller cities to airlines, creating small airports in tier 2 cities like Hubli, Dharwad, Belgaum. Correct. Now, earlier there used to be only some 40-42 airports. Now number of airports have gone up to 140, 130. Because these small airports have started functioning. They started functioning basically because Government of India launched this scheme called Udan, wherein lot of incentives are given to the airlines to fly small ATR aircraft. ATR is small capacity aircraft of 40 capacity, 70 capacity, with the price limit at not cost of one side cost is not more than 2,500 rupees. So it becomes affordable to the people who can fly from there. Then the balance cost, if the cost is say 2,500, if there is a cost, actual cost of 4,000, some kind of subsidy will be given. Right. So this Udan scheme has increased the number of routes. When I say routes, airline routes, by 600 routes. 600 routes have been covered under the Udan scheme, where small cities are now connected by airlines. Now it will be modified to connect additional 120 new destinations. When I say new destination, means new routes. New destination will be covered under the Udan scheme, where people will be able to fly with the price which is finalized by the Government of India, where presently if you want to go to Delhi on 31st of December and all, or Mumbai, it is 25,000, 30,000 rupees. Because it's a variable cost, airlines cost. Under the Udan scheme, they cannot increase the cost. There's a price increase. New greenfield airports in Bihar, Government of India is now trying to construct new airports. What is the greenfield airport? The understanding of what is greenfield airport? Greenfield. Okay, I'll give a hint. Brownfield and opposite of greenfield is a brownfield. What is the difference between a brownfield and a greenfield? A greenfield, forget about the word airport. Greenfield project. Brownfield.
Is it about urban rural area?
Huh?
Urban area, rural area?
No. What is the sustainable? Yes, forget about greenfield and new greenfield. Brownfield is that. So I'll give an example. Mumbai Airport. Yes, new airport. New. And brownfield is existing one which is refurbished or something. For instance, Delhi Airport is a brownfield airport. It used to be, there was an airport earlier, which was then given to GMR on a weekly basis. They developed a brownfield airport at a world class airport. As Madam said, Mopa Airport is a greenfield airport because it was constructed new on a Mopa platform. Any project that is done new, that is greenfield, any existing project that is redeveloped is a brownfield. There is a difference. So Bihar is going to have 3 greenfield airports. Now infrastructure purpose 1 lakh crore is for urban challenge. For what is urban challenge front? What is the purpose? For making the cities growth hubs, for creative redevelopment of cities, for water and sanitation purposes. This urban challenge fund will be created with 1 lakh crore. Capital expenditure target is there, 11.21 lakh crore capital expenditure is there, which I have shown you here, where focusing on urban and rural infrastructure. 1.5 lakh crore is interest-free loan for capital expenditure to the states. State governments will be given loan, interest-free loan for the purpose of capital expenditure. That is 1.5 lakh crore. Now, energy as a reform, right? Third, investment. Government is aiming to operationalize indigenous reactors by 2030. Innovation and technology, again, as Principal Sir has pointed out, provision is made center of excellence in artificial intelligence for education. Private sector driven research and development innovation, 20,000 crore currently research and development DRDO, ISRO and others, all various scientific institutions are into the R&D. Private sector is also into R&D, but is not driven by the central government or the state government. Now, Government of India is going to drive the private sector for R&D. For it, 20,000 crore is spent. In the US and all, satellites are made by the private sector and it is launched. So the private sector also will be encouraged. Swamiya Fund. What is Swamiya Fund? Swamiya Fund is construction of houses, housing dwelling units. That is done by SBI Caps Ventures Limited in private sector. It's not a private sector, it is a semi-government sector. Like SBI Bank is there, their venture, it is SBI Caps Ventures Limited. It is done through them, where 1 lakh dwelling units will be constructed, linked to the loan component with them, and government will use subsidy, some interest intervention or something like that, where 15,000 crore is kept for completion of 1 lakh dwelling units. Tourism, 50 tourism destinations in Goa, we get money out of it. 50 tourist destination sites in the country to be developed on partnership with states. That means this is an area probably Goa can expect money. Right? And women's development, as I think earlier I mentioned, 2 crore is available for first time women entrepreneurs from SC and backward classes. Now still, investment as third in the a deep tech fund for next generation startups. What is the meaning of a next generation startup? We have word startups so far. Now government is going ahead, one step ahead. Want to create for the next generation startup a deep technology fund of funds to be created. Next generation startups, the startups that are totally led by technology. Technology driven startups or next generation startups. So those startups will have a separate funding. There is a fellowship available, PM Research Fellowship for research in Indian Institute of Science, Institute of Technology, IITs. 10,000 fellowships are being used for purpose of crops. Basically, gene farm bank will be created. 10 lakh gene farm banks will be set up for the future of food and nutrition security. Geospatial mission. If you, how many of you are aware of PM Gati Shakti? There is a portal called PM Gati Shakti. It is presently available only to the government sector. All the infrastructure in the country are geotagged. Mining, roads, bridges. Now Government of India is going to open it up for the private sector on payment basis. So idea is have a geospatial mission. Everything, even what Goa government is also planning is that geotag your flat. Geotag your flat. Geotag every infrastructure that is there will be geotagged. Then Gyan Bharatan mission, it is manuscripts, whether it is Ramayana, Mahabharata, various manuscripts of the country will be available like ChatGPT kind of thing, right? For that, a Gyan Bharatam mission will be set up. So I am aware of it because I know the company that is developing this. It is called as Bharati GPT. That is developing in concentration with the Prime Minister's office. I am aware of the chairman of that company. That is why I knew about this particular mission. This is already developed. 1 crore manuscripts have already been tagged. And what is likely to happen is that this will be opened up for schools and colleges where they will be taught about our manuscript heritage academic institutions, museums, libraries, that's what it says, private libraries over more than 1 crore manuscripts. Actually, this has happened. This is something different. Many times in government, what happens is that announcement is done, then work starts on that. Many times it doesn't happen. In this, at least in this case, I am aware, this has already started, it's almost coming up completed and it is announced now. Now the last engine is export. I have already spoken about export. So let us only go to the schemes. There is an export promotion mission will be set up. That mission will be jointly by three ministries: Commerce Ministry, MSME Ministry, Finance Ministry. They jointly will run that mission. For what purpose? For the facilitate easier access to export credit and also simplification of export compliance. That's what I said, reform. At the end of the day, everybody should find ease of doing business. Right? Should find simplified procedures to do. So that is what it is done. BharatNet, BharatNet, international trade, it is for the trade purpose. Set up at unified platform, single platform for the traders, for the purpose of trade documentation and financing solutions. National framework for GCC, Global Capability Centers will be set up. For what purpose? That is in Tier 2 cities. Tier 2 cities means 50,000 to 99,000 population. You know that category cities are called Tier 2 cities. Smaller cities like Panaji, Moscow. I don't think Moscow has even 50,000 as a city, as a population. In those cities, the companies will be supported for global operations. For that, global capability centers will be set up, for which a framework will be prepared by the government of India, right? In emerging Tier 2 cities. Now, reforms as fuel. I mentioned that for that engine requires fuel. Fuel is reform. What are the reforms that are suggested? Reform number 1. You are aware, earlier insurance was only with the government act. Life insurance, LIC, right? Then the government slowly liberalized, allowed private sector to come in, start to compete with the LIC. Right? Now, at that point of time, only 74% was allowed. Still 26% the fund will be the government. Now, government has fully liberalized. Insurance sector can be completely with the private sector, 100%, but with one condition. The condition is that the premium collected in the insurance sector should be fully spent in India. Now, credit enhancement facility, NAFID, that is National Bank for Financing Infrastructure Development. For the purpose of infrastructure development, under this bank, a partial credit enhancement facility will be created. And Grameen, this is for self-help groups. Self-help groups are eligible to take credit from NABARD or various banks. Now, for them, a credit score, how we all have CIBIL score, CIBIL score for taking credit, better the credit score you are paying regularly, you are eligible for more loans. It is not organized now, it is a credit, the discretion of the manager. Sometimes it may happen that a poor SHU is not repaying, also may get a loan because of somebody is pressurizing, or manager is taking money and giving loan, right? Anything is possible. Now to regulate that, a public sector bank, they have developed a Grameen credit score. Credit score framework to serve credit needs of SHG members and people in rural areas. Pension sector. So, for that we must have seen now, there are so many pension products that have come up in the market. We will give you spend now this much, at the end of 60 or 70 years, you will start getting every month some 10,000 rupees, this rupees. Every new products are coming up. Right? No one knows what you will get. So to regulate that, a regulatory coordination will be done for development of pension products. That will be regulated by the government of India, so that people are not getting. And high-level committee for regulatory reforms. All certifications, licenses, permissions, all those will be reviewed, especially not in the financial sector, it's in the non-financial sector. A high-level committee for reforms, regulatory reforms will be set up. Investment friendliness index for states, there is always following that, at least when I was director VP or I was at various countries. And people come for investment in the state. However, they say that the state is not investment friendly. Because they find it a lot of problems in getting various approvals, getting access to the things. People are not, the system is not right. So Government of India is trying to create a competition among the states. They will create state-wise index. Which state is investor friendly, which is not. Automatically when states feel that go up to that I am at number 24, then they have to know that I am at 24. Moment your index is low, automatically those investors will not come to you at all. The index itself will tell you whether you are friendly or not. Government of India want to create that index, investment friendliness index. If you are on the top, moment that index is there, investors will straight away try to attract it to the top. If you are at low, then it is able to improve that index. So such an index will be created to create spirit of competitiveness among the states. General Schwartz bill. This is an interesting thing that is happened. That there are lots of small offences are treated as criminal offences. Lots of litigations are there. Already Government of India has done, including state governments, more than 200 such offences have been decriminalized. That means offences have have been termed as non-criminal offences. The moment it's a non-criminal offences, pay some fine, small things, right? So government has identified those for the benefit of public. That for that General Schwartz bill 2000, 2.0 will be 1.0 has done more than 100 such things. 2.0 will be decriminalize more than 100 provisions in various laws, which are of minor nature, which are now considered as criminal, will be treated as non-criminal offence once this bill will be passed. Now come to the indirect tax. What they have done indirect tax? It's okay to go ahead now, right? Few more slides. Rationalization of custom tariff structure for industrial goods. Basic custom duty, Government of India has reduced for various items. First one, what they have done, there are tariff rates. Custom duty, there are many tariff rates in the custom duty. Right, basic custom duty, known as BCD, basic custom duty. In the year 23-24, last year, 7 tariffs have been removed. When the number of tariff rates have been brought down. Right. Now they are going to remove only, there are now number of tariff rates remain are only 8 now, including zero tariff. Then the number of tariffs have been brought down. Again, simplification. Second major thing is that tariffs will have a cess and a surcharge. Many a time a single tariff is charged cess as well as surcharge. Now onwards there will be either cess or surcharge. Not two. Levy not more than one cess or surcharge. Because of this, in case of 20 to 82 tariff lines, social security, social welfare surcharge was there, that way exempted. Because you are either eligible for cess or eligible for surcharge, not both. With just one of this decision, 82, in case of 82 tariff lines, social welfare surcharge get eliminated or exempted. This is the first one. This one. Now, come down. Import of drugs, medicines, basic custom duty is reduced. Life-saving drugs, 36 life-saving drugs, basic custom duties get fully exempted. BCD, there is no custom duty on life-saving drugs. In case of 6 life-saving drugs, which are the drugs that is an injection given in the street, you may have to go into that. 6 life-saving medicines where customs duty has been reduced to 5%. There are specified drugs, medicines under patient assistance program. This pharmaceutical companies run patient assistance program. Wherein those for patient assistance, pay under that patient assistance program. These manufacturing companies are giving those medicines. Medicines that are covered under the patient assistance program are fully exempted as a customer. And for this purpose, under this patient assistance program of pharmaceutical companies, Government of India has added 37 more medicines and 13 new patient assistance programs. 13 new programs to be announced and plus 37 more medicines will be added to that. Now critical minerals, I have mentioned earlier, mining sector. Critical minerals, which are the critical minerals? Cobalt, scrap of lithium ion battery, lead, zinc, and 12 more critical minerals are fully exempted from basic customers. Similar textiles, 2 more types of shuttle-less looms, textile factories are fully exempted. Knitted fabrics, BCD has been revised. Electronic goods, I have mentioned earlier that TV is going to be costlier. BCD has gone up from 10% to 20%. For open cells, BCD has been reduced. BCD on parts of open cell has been exempted. Lithium ion battery, 35 EV cars and EV related things are likely to be cheaper. EV batteries will be cheaper because 35 additional capital goods EV battery manufacturing and 28 additional capital goods battery manufacturing have been exempted fully from the BCD. As I say, BCD is basic custom duty. Shipping sector, the shipping sector is going to have this is an existing provision where exemption is already there for raw materials for shipbuilding industry basically. Raw materials, components, consumables, parts of manufacture of ships extended by 10 more years, which is an existing provision, and the basic custom duty exemption has increased from another 10 years. In case of telecommunication, carrier grade Ethernet switches, BCD has been reduced from 20% to 10%. Now, export promotion purpose, what government has done for the purpose of this reform, export promotion, indirect tax exemption, handicrafts. Here, this is for the purpose of export. Here, what happens is that the moment the good is ready for export, right? Now they have to notify for the purpose of export. Now, once it is notified for the purpose of export, there is a time limit to export, right? Now, the time limit export extended from it was 6 months. Within 6 months, you export. If the export extended from 6 months to 1 year, it is further extendable by another 3 months if required. That means more time is given to the people who are into this business for the purpose of exports. So, this particular export is duty free. 9 items have been added to the list of duty free exports. Leather sector is also given fully exempted. Wet blue leather is fully exempted. Crushed leather is 20% export duty. Marine products BCD reduced to 30% to 5%. Domestic MRO, what is MRO? Full form of MRO. Domestic MRO and railway goods. Maintenance, repair and overhaul centers. Right? It is a workshop. Workshop, maintenance, repair and overhaul. Workshop, it is airlines, aircraft have workshops. Similarly, marine industry has similar workshop. Railway has a MRO. In all such cases, the import of repair items have been exempted. In addition to the time limit extended for export of such items from 6 months, 1 year, time limit for export also been exempted. Now the trade, we have seen 3 items now. The indirect trade facilitation. For the purpose of facilitating trade, provisional assessment time limit for assessment of trade has been increased from 2 years, extendable by 1 more year. Voluntary compliance, people who are supposed to voluntarily give their details, declare the material facts, paid into the interest. Now they can do it without paying a penalty. With the interest, they can new provision has been introduced. Time limit for end use, you have imported items. The time limit for end use of imported inputs, you have imported items for the purpose of manufacturing. And using of the same, the time limit is extended by 6 months to 1 The current one was 6 months to 1 year. Such importers have to only file earlier. They are supposed to file monthly returns. Now they are supposed to file quarterly. So basically simplified the procedure. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Suresh Sharma, for enlightening us with your valuable insights into the Union Budget 2025-26. So now we are open for a question and answer session.
I mentioned that question is only to the students. Now question is open to the entire teachers also.
Your expertise and experience have provided us with a deeper understanding of the subject. We now have come to the end of today's seminar. To formally conclude, I would like to invite Assistant Professor Ms. Padma Shri Gawas to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Department of Economics, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed resource person, Dr. Suresh Sir, for graciously accepting our invitation despite his busy schedule. Sir, we deeply appreciate the valuable insights you have shared on the budget, presenting them in such a simple and engaging manner. Thank you. I would also like to thank our Principal Sir and Vice Principal Ma'am for their unwavering support. A special thanks goes to our HOD and my colleague, whose efforts contributed to making this seminar a great success. I thank all the faculty members who have joined us today, and last but not the least, all our lovely students for being part of this seminar. Thank you.
You are better know your name.
Last time when we were in
3 buses to women. This is to be one comparison. Entire like how India budget is there. nothing but a ball. You will get all the documents, actual figures, every figure is available. So you can show you right now where it is available. Everything is available. Not 1 year. Last year, I had given a lecture on sources of data sources. I don't know how to get this data. It's available. Figures are available. And see, if you have anthropology, the anthropology is knowing what they are asking. What is the they are saying? What is the objective of that? And what is the what is the fiscal responsibility? You have to see what is that wrong, what is not. Estimates and you can always take from here, I can give you. You can take from me, what is that? What is that they are supposed to be? Supposed to know what they are not doing. What they are not doing. What is that? One thing they are not doing is fiscal responsibility. They are supposed to manage fiscal. Medium term fiscal policy they are supposed to announce. Government doesn't. We have a national so FR we have medium term policy is not going to that's it. The government will take us. Second one, you can say that on the lines of government of Goa mission, how various announcements will be correct? How that will be, how the benefit, what benefit so to identify these areas, you can simply say that you can identify 3-4 areas. First one is has to do with basic who has to one civil engineering, something recorded is easy. That's what I have found record for a site. Easy to write it. See, how much population is covered in sewage? Only less than 20% is covered in sewage. Rest all sewage is soak big tank. What happens in soak big tank? Whatever happens that it pollutes the groundwater. Right? It pollutes the groundwater. If the soak big tank is near to the well, that well water is so therefore the entire state needs to be connected with the sewage. The second is solid waste quality. You can say that it will be extreme. 100% we are the tourism non-state. How much will we say on this topic? So we are very poor in solid waste. It's like this,